Well, the airlines have seen a modest recovery in travel demand, but a second wave of the coronavirus pandemic could be devastating for the industry. Joining us now is Ben Baldanza. He is a former Spirit Airlines president and CEO. We also want to touch on Boeing as well, and whether we will see the 737 MAX return. But little do we know when we started on all this that even if it does return, are we still ready to go to the UK with the second wave, Ben? I mean, there's a lot swirling around. Let's talk about travel at this point, given that the virus is far from put to bed at this point.
Well, Joe, it's great to be with you again. And yes, another wave of COVID would be really terrible for the whole economy, and that includes the airline industry as well. Now, the fourth quarter, which we're just about to enter here, starting in October, is traditionally a relatively weak quarter for airline leisure travel, with the exception of the holiday periods at Thanksgiving and end of December. And it's more dominated by business travel. So our businesses going to decide to send their people out to do sales calls, audit plans, have meetings, things like that, or are they not going to? And the question for that is going to be whether or not they feel confident and the people feel safe doing that. I don't think we're going to see any kind of recovery on the leisure side until we get into next spring or summer. If you think about a normal year, if we can remember what that was, summer is when everyone would have already taken their vacations. Kids would be back in school now, so there wouldn't be that much leisure travel right now. And that wouldn't happen really until spring breaks start to happen again. So if there's another wave and we're all shuttered back in our homes again, and people are saying gathering, which today is already a risky thing, is even a riskier thing, then I think we're going to be looking at a very weak 2021 for airline demand. And that means capacity will be very low as well. Let's hope that's not the case.
What's going to happen with Boeing? Since we only have about a couple minutes left, maybe, Ben, will it not be called the MAX? Will it come back? Is it safe? Will people fly it? What do you think?
Well, a lot of people were buying that plane before the crashes because it represented really good economics for the airlines. Obviously, Boeing has needed to fix the engineering problem that helped cause those crashes with the way that MCAS system, as they call it, how often it activates and what it does when it does activate. The other big important thing there is that pilots are going to need to be trained probably differently when the plane was first sold. Boeing had a lot of pressure on it to put out a plane that didn't need a lot of new pilot training because their competitor, the Airbus A320neo, didn't require that. That's probably going to change some. I think if they remove the MAX name, that would be a good thing for them to do and call it the 737-900 or, just go with their other naming conventions. I think the MAX has sort of that taint to it now with those two terrible crashes that killed over 300 people.